Hello and welcome to day 10 of 100 Days of Soulforce. My name is Joseph Arnold, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the story of how I figured out what it really means to play from the heart, how to actually do this. So it's not just some fluke or something that happens only by the grace of God, spontaneously, or something that happens through effort, because it's definitely not an effortful thing. Playing from the heart is what we all want when we play, and was what all of our audiences want when they hear us. And so it's so important. It's so fun and satisfying, so deeply satisfying. It's like letting your soul speak as you play, whatever it is that you do. And for that, like who teaches that, right? So I mean, you can't learn that with scales, to have your soul speak, right? Or at least not outwardly. You can't learn that through getting a prodigious technique. You can't learn that by doing X 10 times, It's something else. And I figured out what it is. And that's what I call playing from the heart. And today, what I'm going to share with you is not so much like the how-to. I'm going to have lots of other videos coming out on the how-to, but this will be about the how I figured it out part. And there will be a little bit of a how-to. You'll get a sense of that, and it can help inform your understanding of what playing from the heart really means. All right, so before we get any further, again, my name is Joseph Arnold. I'm a violinist, an Alexander Technique teacher, and the founder of the Soulforce Arts Academy. The Soulforce Arts Academy is about learning how to play with greater freedom and expression and connection to your heart, connection to your soul, so that we can really be of service to a world in need through our art, through this soul sound or dance or acting or whatever it is, painting even, whatever it is that your art is, like that soul art connection. That's what this is about. This is what playing from the heart is all about. As you can see, I get really animated talking about this. I fudging love it. Let's put it that way. All right. Yeah, playing from the heart is the answer to mechanical playing, playing that leaves you feeling empty, playing that's overly effortful, and yet it's the thing that we most want to teach to our students. It's the thing that I most wanted to learn as a student. It's the thing that we most want to do in our performances, and it's the thing that our audiences most want. So how do we do this? So I'll tell you the story. I came to this a couple different ways. So I'm an Alexander Technique teacher, and through my Alexander training, I was very fortunate to study at the Philadelphia School for Alexander Technique under Martha Furman, who was a very heart-centered teacher. And there were lots of very fine musicians and other artists there at the school who were studying to become Alexander teachers. And one of the most characteristic experiences of that time for me was how letting go of excess muscular tension, because that's what you do in the Alexander technique, how that letting go revealed this soul sound, revealed this luminous, haunting, vibrant, alive sound or stage presence or quality of movement, right? And all those things were really connected. And it just happened again and again. It was so obvious. Oh, when you stop tensing your neck, while playing the piano. Like your arms can move more freely, and when that happens, like the connection from here, from what you want to your arms and into the piano, so free and open. And then all those little nuances that are getting lost in the muscular tension can come through. The aliveness that you have inside you can come through. It's not getting squashed, constricted in all that muscle tension. And so this really caught my attention. And I experienced it many times myself, where in a lesson, all of a sudden my playing would be so free and it would feel really good, and there would suddenly be this opening here in my heart that would feel amazing. And I would be told that, it sounded amazing too. So that was one part of how I came to how I understand playing from the heart now. And I started to teach that to my young students, violin students, and other Alexander people who would come to me, and I would, for my young students or for my adult students who were coming to me for pain or whatever, I would see the same things happening in them. We would do some little bit of an Alexander idea of some kind, like noticing the space around you, or just letting yourself breathe freely while you play. And that would help them let go of some of the excess tension, and then all of a sudden their sound would be so much better, their technique would be so much better, they'd be freer in their bodies, and that sort of natural expressivity could come out. But I also encountered this problem where I would ask them to do these things. Okay, so why don't you play that piece again, this time noticing the full width of your body, or thinking about letting your neck be free, or again, like noticing the space around you. And then they would be thinking about two things at once, playing and this Alexander idea. And it would be really hard. It would be too hard. They would get confused. And I noticed the same thing in myself. I was really frustrated by this. So, it's hard to do two things at once. Is there a way of letting yourself be more free while doing just one thing? Yeah, so that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And so it came a time when I was teaching a violin lesson, and this young girl, she was about 12, and she was playing her piece, and she was doing it so mechanically, and it was really boring, honestly. And I was amazed then when she stopped and said, "Why does my music sound so robotic?" I was just shocked. Wow, you could hear that, and I could hear it. Isn't that so fascinating? And it was just like that level of self-awareness that she had was great. And I said, yeah, it really does kind of sound that way. Like, what are you thinking about while you play? Because I had seen, and I asked that question, what are you thinking about while you play? Because I'd seen so many times in Alexander school, what you pay attention to, what you're thinking about changes your quality of movement, which changes your quality of performance. So I asked her, what are you thinking about while you play? And she said, well, thinking about getting the notes right. And that was the big light bulb moment right there. Oh, okay, so when you're thinking about getting the notes right, it sounds robotic. This kind of makes sense to me. Like, the idea of getting the notes right is this sort of static concept, like matching what we're doing here with our playing to the static concept in the mind. And this is why it ends up sounding robotic. Like a robot can only do like one thing that it's programmed to do. It's static, linear, and that comes through in the sound. So I thought, well, what is there that's more dynamic, more alive, that she could pay attention to here? So I asked her, when you hear a piece of music that you like or that you don't like, how do you know? How do you know that you like it or you don't like it? What in your experience tells you that? And we had a little conversation about that. It seemed to flummox her a little bit. But eventually she got around to, oh yeah, I feel it feels more open in my body. It's more like I want to move, like I want to dance. And it's more fun and pleasurable. And when she's hearing something that she likes. And when she doesn't like it, she doesn't want to move. She's feeling more closed off emotionally. And it's less pleasurable. And so this is great. I said, okay, so what you're experiencing here, these feelings, being more open, less open, that kind of thing, that's your inner audience member. Your inner audience member listens to you while you play and has opinions, expresses its opinions in terms of these feelings. Why don't you try playing that again, this time? Noticing your inner audience member for every note that you play. Seeing if you can make your inner audience member happy with what you're doing. And the results were stunning. Instead of hearing a bunch of notes being played at me, I heard her coming through her sound. Her essence coming through her sound. It was like her inner voice coming through. And sure, it still sounded like a 12-year-old playing, sort of a beginner, intermediate level 12-year-old. But the soul was there. Yeah. So ever since then, I've been teaching this more and more. How to listen. So playing from the heart, then, what it means is listening to your inner audience member, those feelings, heart, gut, or elsewhere in your body, while you play, no matter what it is that you do. So you're listening to your emotional feedback, moment by moment, as you play. And because this is alive inside you, then your performances will be alive. Right? Just as before, static idea, static performance. A live idea, a live experience, really. Then a live performance. That's how playing from the heart works. So, without further ado, I'm going to play from the heart for you, and then we'll call it a day. What shall I play? I didn't plan this. So were you able to notice your inner audience member while I played? What did you notice? I had a little slip up there in the middle of it. Like, what did your inner audience member say during that? And mine went, ooh, a little bit, right? And then, so I corrected, and it kept going, and then my inner audience member felt a little bit happier. So this is the level of detail that you can notice while you're playing from the heart. And whether you're more open or more closed, it's all good feedback. You just play in a way where generally you're coming more open, more alive in yourself. And that's what playing from the heart is. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow for day 11 of 100 Days of Soulforce.